Welcome to the FAFO Monday podcast, where we go ahead and interview interesting, strange, and unique people from all across the micro universe. This morning, we have Ginevra. She is the princess of chocolate. She's got an amazing accent, and y'all are going to fall in love with her. We also have Deadpool, as usual, that dirty bastard.
What up, people? Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From Lady Pasta to Princess of Chocolate. I like this.
There you go. See? I don't know if that's an upgrade. I love them both.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't beat pasta. You're Italian, so you should know it really, really well.
Yeah. Now I'm starting making risotto with my mushroom, strain-specific risottos. So you guys should come over for dinner.
Oh, nice. Didn't you say that's where you started?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. So, how I started, I was in Hawaii for 7 months when COVID hit. Right. I was living in Wailea, and this chick comes up to me at a party with a bag of beautiful mushrooms. They were white and beautiful. And she's like, do you want to try them or you want to buy the bag? And I was like, I never done mushrooms before. I'm scared of it. I don't do drugs in general. Like if I have a shot of something, I'm done for the night kind of person.
All right.
And she goes like, well, you don't have to just trip on them. Have you heard of microdosing? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And she's like a shaman, and she started explaining me about the mushrooms. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this bag and try it out. And then I start nibbling on these mushrooms and then a little more. I actually, guys, as today, I never tripped on mushroom yet. So,
no, wow. I don't do that often either.
I know.
I don't do that often. I'm a big fan of doing moderate doses just till you feel good and then you're done. That's what I do.
That's right. So the maximum I've done probably was one. The other night I was like, I'm going to grab my white rhino, now I'm known on Discord because I revived with P-Funk. I revived from dry fruit, this white rhino that nobody knew what it was. And I took some, and I think took a 0.8. I'm like, I'm going to take more and more. And then I was just having such a good time that I didn't end up doing it. But
yeah. Once you get to that one level, I mean, it's going to last for a couple hours,
I know.
Really, you don't know when you take those next couple, just how they're going to end up. And then you're stuck there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyways, that's how I started. Like I bought this bag of mushrooms. I was living the life in Hawaii. I had this beautiful condo on the beach and I kept eating them for 7 months. And when I came back to the land 2 years ago, I started studying them and try to find them. But like here in Washington, they have like this, some bags of very teeny things. And then I start Googling how to grow them. And actually, I got stuck into what I consider a scam. I start buying bags from curative mushrooms.
Oh.
And I try to grow with those. Things won't come out, this and that. And then this lady called Anne, she comes, and I was paying $100 a month to be in their Discord.
What?
And I swear to God.
Hold on. We could make people pay to be in the Discord?
I can charge people to be on my desk. Wait, can I charge people to be on my show?
How did we never think of this?
I know. $100 a month to be on their Discord. And then this lady, Anne, she came and rescued me and got me in one of the P-Funk's Discord. And that's where I start learning everything, right? And I was like, okay, so you need a bag of brain, and then you need substrate, and then you need to be sterilized, and you need this, and la la la. But you guys won't believe it. I grew so far like probably 30 strains. You know when
I've seen your setup. I know what you've grown. That is nice.
So when did I start growing? When I injected my first bag?
When's that?
October 1st.
Oh shit.
Oh, I know. You're doing great.
I know, after 2 years of studying, and I was like, and literally P-Funk, Happy Trees, all these people, and you guys now are teaching me everything I need to know. It's such a long jump because all of you guys have been growing for 20 years and you do no gatekeeping, which is amazing. And that's why I want to teach others as well.
Oh, yeah. I've been talking to P-Funk a lot lately. It's weird. I've
He's the
seen him around a lot,
best.
and then
He's
lately I've been
he's
I've
my
talked to him
brother for
quite
a
a bit.
different
He's
one.
a really nice guy. We should totally have him on. He's a lot
I
of
think
fun.
so. Next week, P Funk, you're on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll just ambush him with
There
it.
you go.
It's my man. I tell you, it's my man. My brother from a different mother.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy. I've never had any bad interactions with him at all. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and he tells you how it is, like some of these guys are really tough, like and they tell you, hey, no, you fuck up. And like every time that you boys tell me that's wrong, I just get this high, and I'm like, yes, that's wrong. I'm gonna make it good. Like I've been criticized a lot on my Instagram when I started because I was trying to teach people, but some things I was just jump steps and like. And there were some guys that was like, are you an idiot? Why? That's not the way you show people. And instead of getting offended, I would say like, thank you for telling me this. I'll do better,
Right. Good. Constructive criticism. Some people take it right. Some people just, they break down and run away. Right.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why every time I try to give constructive criticism, people just freak
you
out
don't
on
constructively criticize. You're like, you're an idiot. You're dead to me.
No, not all the time. Just to certain people who are incapable of learning.
That's true. Yes.
There's willful ignorance, and then there's like, I just don't know.
Yeah, believe me. I started our little server years ago, and we brought in how many people we got, and they're all almost like master growers now. We don't hold shit back. I mean, sure, we have little secrets. Squid Ink Boy over here has that he doesn't tell anybody until it slips out. But
well, nobody really specifically asked me, and then because they don't know to ask me, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what random shit do you got going on? But I experiment a lot, and I read a lot just because I want to push the limits of what I can and can't do. I get bored growing the same stuff over and over, and so I wonder if I can make this grow on XYZ.
What kind of grain? What's your favorite grain to grow on?
Me, Ginevra?
Yeah.
Oh, so I started with millet from Mycology Simplified, and I loved it, and I got excited and this and that. And then I was scrolling through buying like all my stuff. I make these huge orders, and then I was like, what is that dark one? And I started with Milo, and I injected Milo the first time, and it was colonizing so fast. And I was like, holy shit, next thing you know, no more millet for me. And then P-Funk goes, hey, I just started to make a drippy corn. I'm going to send you a bag. And I was like, okay. I injected that too. And I was like, oh my God. So now I don't know which one is my favorite. I'm doing a half and half. And
you're riding the fence.
Yes, they're both great. And I really don't know. I think I'm going to keep going with both. And I love both for grain to grain because I just love doing grain to grain. And pretty much I don't even use liquid culture anymore. I just do swabs to agar to grain, and grain to grain.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What are you doing as far as your grain prep? Like, how are you doing your grain prep?
I buy my grain from P-Funk.
Okay.
Yeah, which is because he sterilized them amazing. He puts the perfect amount in the bags. I just love the way. I love to support the community. Fortunately, I can afford it. So like that's, I just rather do that. And I buy the not so simple substrate from him. And
it is a pain in the ass, sterilized and everything for sure.
Exactly, and it's just like I really get contaminated very rarely because of it. For the tabs, I do Happy Trees tech. So I put on the longer side, I put two holes by the liner, and on the shorter side, I put the holes on top.
So you're going cool.
Yeah, just working out for me. I don't know what to tell you.
That's exactly how I do my tubs. So yeah, no, that's old. I've been doing it since you had to put your tubs in black trash bags, tie it up, and don't look at it for 12 days. So do it the same way. Just now I know I can look at it from the outside.
You see how
back in the days when it was all like, it was like half magic to make it work. There was no science involved. It was just like prayer,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you guys did you guys saw that post on Instagram or something or TikTok where someone was growing mushroom out of toilet paper?
Yeah, that's not hard.
No, it's just paper. And it's
cellulose. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like that I never seen. But you see how lucky I am because like I get all you guys' stack. I just like copycat and like I have this huge mushroom growing. Like I'm like, I don't know. I feel
we got
so
people
lucky.
growing out of diapers now.
Yeah.
We talked about growing out of diapers 2 weeks ago. I got a boy Ultra up. He's growing mad shit on diapers now. So it's all
That
kinds
is
of
so
good stuff.
yeah, it's fun. With the poop or without?
Well, without. I'm hoping Ultra they'll be growing on shit.
Well, that's what mushroom grow well on, right? I don't like poop, but maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it works really well with horse poo, is what I've used in the past. It works great. It's kind of what they like to eat. I don't anymore. I just make like really fancy compost, basically, which forest floor is what I call it, and that's what I grow on. It smells great, and it doesn't have poo in it. It doesn't have anything in it. Well,
how'd your hobo one go?
Hobo?
Your news thing. Your troll.
Oh,
troll bag.
No, it's going good. It's been really cold, and it's been really cold in the part of the house that I've grown, so everything's going really slow. But what I did is I made just substrate out of a $7 bag of potting soil from Home Depot, and then literally just went out and mowed random grass in the yard and scraped it up and made substrate out of it. And like sticks and trees, and it had just everything that would be in the yard, like leaves and stuff in it. And people are like, it's not going to work. And I'm like, it works, man. I mean, mushrooms, they want to grow as bad as you want to grow them. And it's just, they're primary decomposers, so they're going to eat whatever you feed them, right? So not a big deal. And same thing with the grain spawn. I was like, you can make grain spawn out of pretty much anything. So we just went out and bought the cheapest bird food with black oil sunflower seeds, where everybody says you can't do, and from PetSmart, and went and cut up a bunch of tall weeds in the backyard and mixed it in there with it and made grain spawn out of it. Just the entire purpose of it was just to piss people off. And it worked great.
It'll work.
Can I tell you something? What I did the other day?
Do it.
So I live by the Arboretum here in Seattle, and I just grabbed a bunch of spawn bags, and I went to the Arboretum, which is people can go there for a walk, and I planted magic mushrooms all over the Arboretum.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Then it's even going to go back with little flags, and just people will start seeing these beautiful strains growing all over the Arboretum.
I probably wouldn't put the flags out there. I would just make it more like an Easter egg hunt.
I know. Yeah. Maybe I should do like a little scavenger hunt.
One thing that I've done when I lived in Austin is that Liberty caps grow like crazy in this part of Texas, right? So, but they grow in like around plants, like so. All these little places where they have like rose bushes and stuff growing in just city parks, is that I would take and make huge batches of liquid culture, and I'd put it in a camelback bladder and just spray it into like around the plants. And just like what do you got, that hardwood mulch that they put down works just amazing substrate for it. And I mean, they're watering it, they're taking care of it. It's, weed free and everything. So it would grow huge flushes of like Liberty caps right like in front of the state capitol building and shit.
Shut up. So you went back and checked and they grew?
Oh yeah, they grow like crazy around here. Yeah, you can find them like on 6th Street outside the bars now. Just because pretty much me. Just dumping liquid culture whenever I went. Just walking along, and then it's like, oh, hey, look, there's some plants. That looks like a nice little shady spot. And then dumping liquid culture.
That's amazing. I love it. So liquid culture, I have a question because I'm a newbie, right? Sure. Isn't that very perceptive to contamination? So I would think if you just dump it in the wild, like...
That's how they live anyways.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not gonna hurt anything. By the time your liquid culture is mature, it's pretty much used up all the nutrients inside the liquid culture anyway. That's just liquid mycelium at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
strong.
Got it.
it's pretty potent. So it's just basically, think of it kind of like liquid agar, where it's just got it's
liquid love.
yeah. Instead of having a two-dimensional plane where your mushrooms are growing, like your strain is growing, it's growing into the big three-dimensional, liquid. So it works really, really well. I like liquid cultures because I can just inject straight through a bag with a liquid culture
and you
without
avoid
opening.
the contamination. I know. And I still have a ton, but the problem is I don't know how to make it, and it's so convenient. And it did actually happen to me a couple times when from grain to grain, I did got a little bit of contamination, and I had to throw the bags away.
Oh.
Liquid culture is stupid easy to make. You just want to shoot for about a 3% sugar, So you can make it from honey, from table sugar. You can make it from anything, really. Karo syrup is a real popular one. Liquid light malt extract is real popular. I add a bunch of random weird shit to mine, like peptone, and mine is complicated to make, and it's way overly complicated only because I like making complicated shit. It grows just as good with just like honey, a little bit of dextrose, and some peptone as it does.
But my question is, what do you do?
Tea.
You just grab a piece of agar, drop it in honey, and then put some sterilized water, and then you wait. Like, how does it work?
No.
No, you got to sterilize a whole jar.
Yeah.
And you put it in the pressure cooker, 20, 25 minutes, and then you can go ahead and put your tissue culture, or you can inject a little piece of a agar through a syringe, or take the top off, or you can just transfer some liquid culture into the new liquid culture, and it'll start expanding, just like you do on agar. Think of liquid culture as liquid agar. You're just not adding the agar.
So let me walk you through it real quick. This is what I do. It's a little bit complicated. So I take a big stainless steel pot, and then I add like 3 gallons of water to it, right? And so then I add like a cup of honey, a cup of liquid malt extract, a cup of like pure dextrose powder, and then like a couple of tablespoons of peptone to it. And I want to bring it up to 3% sugar by volume. But don't taste it after you add peptone to it, because peptone smells like dead skunk asshole. All right, it's basic. Peptone is hydrolyzed bacteria, so it's bacteria that they've grown a big bunch of bacteria, and they've forced it through really tiny metal holes at high pressure, which has shredded the bacteria and turned it into basically compost for whatever you're trying to grow, right? Your mushrooms. Peptone is like, it smells like death, but it's really, really good for you. It's just like super powered.
You will on agar and that where you use it. You will see a massive improvement the first time you use it. You'll be like, I'm never going back.
Huge. Yeah, it's great. So then I take that and I heat it up on the stove, and just until all the sugars dissolve, until it looks clear again, and then I strain it through a funnel with a piece of cotton in it, just so that it gets any of the chunks of the liquid malt extract out, because liquid malt extract has like grain and stuff in it. And I just put that tea now into jars, put the lid on the jar, and then pressure cook that for 15, 20 minutes at 15 psi. And now it's sterile in that jar for all eternity until you add anything you want to grow in there, right? So until you add your culture to that jar, you can leave that jar on the counter for, the shelf for 2 or 3 years. It's sterile until you open it. So it's nothing's bad's gonna happen to it. And then I'll just take, usually in front of my flow hood, I will take the best looking piece of agar, like just a little tiny sliver, and I'll drop that in the jar. Or you can do there's all sorts of different methods. You can take a stainless steel straw and punch out a little piece. You can pluck
always
a piece
make
of
sure
agar.
That it's from a grow that you've done. Don't make sure it's not just agar from spores, because just because it looks great and it's ropey does not mean that it's going to fruit. So you want to make sure this is a culture that you have
proven
it out.
Yeah, because see, back a long time ago when I first started, I went straight from spore to agar, and I made all sorts of really cool looking dishes, right? And only about half of them would actually grow fruit. They look great. They look great on agar. They were just amazing, ropey, cool looking, crazy spider web patterns, but they just didn't fruit because I accidentally selected too much, and I selected the fruiting out of it.
Yeah, selected them fucking mushrooms right out of that damn culture.
Yeah.
So explain me why if you see like mycelium grows or the agar, like the spider, whatever, like why some won't grow?
Because
genetics.
When you go from spore to agar, you've got like 250,000 different genetic options, right? In each spore.
Yeah. Male, female, and everything in between.
Absolutely everything in between, because there's 250,000 sexes in
LBGYA,
mushrooms.
How do you call that?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, but way more than humans have made up yet. Okay, so there's
enough letters in the alphabet.
We don't have enough letters. So there's all these different ones. Well, together, I mean, you're going to get something that if you just take the spores and you went straight to grain with them and magically it didn't contaminate, you're going to have something that's going to fruit, because the ones that don't fruit, that just colonize, are going to just stay colonized, right? And the ones that can fruit are going to fruit. So you're going to always have an opportunity. There's always going to be a chance that you're going to select accidentally for something that looks great and makes really pretty mycelium, but does not contain the genetics to fruit. And that might be that it's just part of like the mushroom's immune system, right? If we can have a super fast colonizer that doesn't fruit, well, like maybe it can out-compete everything around it and allow the stuff that's going to fruit to actually fruit. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Wow, I'm learning, you see?
Yeah.
See? Never had to learn.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's amazing, guys.
You could accidentally select yourself out of fruit.
Right. You're gonna look really pretty, but you're gonna be horrible in bed.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna ship all those plates to all my friends. Hey, I got something great for you, and then oh my gosh, I'm glad I learned this today. That's great.
Yeah. So that's what you want to grow. Yeah, you want to grow out and make sure that you're going to have fruit, and the fruit's going to look good. And then I pick the best fruit from that, and I clone it by peeling it apart and taking a little piece from the inside of the stipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I put that little piece on agar, and now I've cloned that mushroom. But each mushroom is not necessarily one set of genetics. So what happens is 3 or 4 sets of genes can come together and twist up into that knot.
Yeah.
That becomes the pin. So you might, when you clone, you're not going to guarantee that you're going to get.
You might still have sectors. You might still get sectoring.
Yeah, you might still get sectoring, but that's okay, because you know that clone makes that type of mushroom, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's perfectly fine to not have an absolutely perfect symmetrical dish. They look great on Instagram, but sometimes those perfect symmetrical dishes don't fruit.
Yeah, they look great. They look great in pictures. Awesome.
So you're telling me that there was a chance, when I cloned from dry fruit, my white rhino, there was a chance it wasn't going to fruit. I had no idea.
No, because you actually cloned it from a fruit.
Yeah, you're gonna fruit because it cloned from a fruit. If you'd have cloned it from like dried mycelium in the bottom of a bag somewhere,
or
there was a chance.
That was on the outside of the skin, anything like that.
Yeah. There was a chance that way it wasn't going to fruit, but it's not too difficult to revive dried mushrooms. I did it years ago just to piss off people on Reddit. I took, the ramen noodles. They have the Asian ones have a little piece of mushroom inside of them. My favorite are the Shin Black. They're a type of ramen noodle. Well, they have a little piece of mushroom inside, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to clone that. So I cloned the little mushroom that was inside the ramen noodles.
That's amazing.
And it just turned out to be a shiitake. It was a good shiitake, but it was just a shiitake mushroom. But I just did it because everybody said you couldn't.
Yeah, so the reason why I did it is because running out of my own fruit to make chocolate, right? And then a friend of mine had like a pound of these beautiful, like leucistic, albino, whatever fruits from Thailand. And he told me they're white rhino. And I'm like, I wish you had like hillbilly or pea or whatever, but I'll buy it. I buy this fruit and start making chocolate. And all of a sudden, everybody's going crazy over this fruit. And because it's kind of like this natural Xanax, it makes you feel so good. It takes anxiety away. It's literally like magic. And then I'm like, shit, I'm running out. Like, what am I going to do? Call the guy, doesn't have it anymore, doesn't know where this fruit came from. He said, the only thing I know is from Thailand. So I called P-Funk. I'm like, I need this fruit. And I asked everybody on Discord, did anyone heard about a white rhino? Nobody did. And then that's where I opened the inside and I grabbed the fuzzy part of the mushrooms and I put the one piece of the dry on agar, and then I put in the still water, another piece for 6 hours, put them both to agar, and they both took. And now, like, I send plate out to people, I degrow it, and I have them in tabs. That's what happened to me, just because I needed these chocolates that everybody wants.
Yeah, that's freaking kick-ass, girl. That's awesome. Good job.
Yes. Thanks.
That's cool. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, you always got to prove the haters wrong. Got to prove them wrong.
Yeah. And not only that, but I mean, you did it on your own when you just started doing shit back in October. That's cool. That's good shit. That's amazing. Good job.
Impressive even.
That is.
I know people that I was about to say that for fucking 6 months they fucking they wouldn't be able to think about doing that.
I know people who've been growing mushrooms for freaking like 2 or 3 years and refuse to even play with agar because it's scary.
Right. Ooh.
You know? Yeah, it's like, ooh, look, Jello. But
well, yeah, but also like, the fact is that I was scared too at first, and then one of you boys told me, hey, you're never gonna be like the shit until you play with agar. And the challenge came along, and I was like, order 60 agars from the Nia.
Challenge accepted,
and there you are. Now agar is my favorite thing to do.
It's my zen. I can do that for hours.
Yeah,
good.
Me too. Yeah, and also
man,
like the fact that like
me wanting to make more agar.
I know, and also when you were saying about the asymmetrical agar. So what I do now, I take a little piece of this part that I like and a little piece of that, put them in the same agar, and then I grab where the mycelium meets up in the middle. I grab that piece and then I transfer it, and I just like. It is more like, it's like playing Tetris, it's just like put them together. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So if they're agreeing and getting along where they meet up, you'll see them kind of form they'll grow out from that one spot and kind of form their own, their own sector. And those are ones like, all right, they meet up and they go, yo, homie, you want to do this together? Like, sure. And so they get along, right? They're dating, they met, they get along. You'll see where they fight, and there'll be a blank spot between them. And those ones, you don't want to take a sector from there.
Oh, that didn't happen to me.
It's like a Romeo and Juliet love story, and then they all kill themselves.
Let's die together. Yeah.
Yeah, you see them. Well, they'll play, like, mushrooms are just amazing at chemical warfare. That's where we get a lot of our antibiotics and stuff from. But, I mean, they'll kill the shit out of each other.
Their spit is like an antibiotic. They swim through their own spit.
Yeah. Did you hear that the guy, we were talking about the podcast from Michael Geeky before we got online, and the doctor said that actually magic mushroom help also with joint pain and this and that. So I got my knee, I blew my knee playing tennis in Hawaii like 6 years ago, and my knee has been a mess since, and I got surgery, this and that. Well, I swear to God, I microdose almost every day, and my knee doesn't hurt anymore, guys, for real. Wow. I wanted to say it at the podcast because I want people to know, like, actually it does help with joint pain. It's amazing. Oh, wow. Not only mentally, it's awesome. It really is.
So that's with the white rhino that you do.
Well, I actually I microdose with white rhino and iceberg. Those are my favorite.
Okay. I've been hearing about white rhino and iceberg lately, and I never heard of them up until about a month ago.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. I make honey with it, And then I put in my coffee every morning. So the honey, I wait 3 months. Like I start making it almost like immediately. Wait 3 months, and then like I have so many jars of honey, and I just put in my coffee and I go. It's beautiful.
Question: do you filter your honey, or do you leave it chunky?
No, so I blended. I blended to very thin powder, put in the honey, and then I flip them every day, like you do for champagne. You know, I am in the wine business. I own a wine company, so like I know also how to make wine. So when you when you grab it every day and turn it, then like, and then I mix the powder every morning before I put it in my drink. I just like the powder in it, but I will start putting like maybe a boards in it and try that way too and see if I like it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I use a coffee grinder as how I get my stuff to a fine powder.
Yeah,
it works really well.
Me too. That's what I use.
Speaking of wine, I make wine and beer and all sorts of stuff too. I think it's kind of one of those things that the people that like do it yourself are kind of the people that are growing mushrooms. You know, like, because I see a lot. We have just in our group of friends and we have a tiny Discord that's just kind of like our family, and like half of us make wine and beer.
I make mead. Mead.
Yeah, he makes mead.
I make lasagna.
Nice. I can't argue with lasagna. It's my favorite food.
Like a good Italian girl. Yes. Yeah, my Venmo is at lasagna bar.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. No, but you're right. You know, like you just like, you always see people that are rather artistic, or, you know, they just like to play with chemical thingies, or there is always some kind of background of why you want to learn, you know, because like you could totally go and buy mushrooms, you know, it's just the growing part is magic. It's more magical than the mushroom itself, I feel like.
Well, I mean, if you like it, I also noticed that it's always a sterile thing, you know. If you're sterile, you have to be sterile when you do your beer and stuff like that. You want to make sure everything's clean. It's they all like mix together with your sterile technique. So the people that are good at mushrooms are going to be good at all those other things. So you just easily move back and forth.
Yeah, I tell you one other story. So about a month ago, I started feeling too comfortable, and you know, all my big friends, Fungulation and P-Funk and Happy Trees and all these people, they taught me. They said like, I can't believe how amazing you are. We've never seen so much that I got kicked out of a Discord in the past because they thought I was a rat, you know, because like my stuff was growing so good and I was such a newbie. And then they discovered I just was an excited Italian little girl that was trying to just like have fun. So I got back in it. But what happened is that I got too comfortable because everybody was giving me compliments that I start jumping steps, right? I was cutting corners.
Always happen.
I start cutting corner. Next thing you know, I come back from Colorado from vacation. I go into my tent, 16 tabs completely molded.
Oh.
I had to throw every single thing away and start all over. And it was the biggest wake up call. Like, no more cutting corners, you know, like we are not invincible, and the mushrooms like put your butt to hurt. And like, it was hard. It was tough.
So are you growing grapes as well? Do you have a vineyard?
So what happened is like up in Walla Walla, we do have some vineyards, and we buy grapes, and also we contract vineyards, so we grow it ourselves. Okay. Yeah, and A to Z for real.
I just because I know that like trick is a very big thing with grapes. Like it's good for the soil. And I was just like, man, every time you go out, you're gonna have to sterilize yourself between your vineyard and going into your mushrooms. Have you tried burying your mushrooms out by your grapes?
Not yet, you know, not yet.
Should.
Also because I started in the wine business. I'm 43 years old now, and I started when I was 25 in Colorado. I used to sell just Italian wine for a company. And then I decided to just like start buying and bottle my own wine, you know, like from Italy, bring it in. And I was making bubbles, right? And then I actually got married to one of the largest winemakers in Washington, and he's the father of my child. We're not together anymore. And we created two companies together. And so I don't want him. So he is an owner of my companies, and I don't want him to know about the mushrooms, or he will literally murk me. That's why I never actually went and kind of put the mushrooms together with the vineyards, you know.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's like my little secret, it's my little world. But fortunately, here is decriminalized. So in Colorado, it's legal now. And I'm just hoping that this stuff is going to happen here in Seattle, too.
Have you ever considered
let's just go ahead and keep yourself as secret as possible, though, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want people to know who exactly you are.
Exactly. Yeah. That's and because I'm so open, you know, like I'm so loving and I trust everybody. Like everybody tells me all the time, be careful, girl. Like seriously, you like have to be careful. Yeah, for sure.
They're called PO boxes.
Yes. Totally.
But yeah, just be careful about like when you go on or you do interviews with people of trying to like dox yourself, you know, like being too easy to Google. Just because you don't want to get in any trouble. It sounds like you got a bunch of really cool things going on.
I really do. And yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the advice. You see what I mean, you guys? You need to put me back in check and say, hey, don't.
No, we're just looking out for you, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right. So how about this?
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a quick run on your chocolates and what kind of chocolates we got?
Absolutely. So I've always been a strong believer because, you know, I try to microdose here, microdose there. I try this strain, that strain. And every time I take a strain, I feel different, right? And then if I go back to that one strain, I feel that same way again. It's not that because today I felt like I went for a walk and so the same strain feel the same, but no, it actually strain
proteins
specific.
And everything else.
Yeah, I really feel like the strains have their specific, you know, way to go about it, like their own. So what happened is that when I started making chocolate, I was like, I don't really like it. Like when I try to mix the strain, like you get this weird feeling inside, like the mushrooms.
Too much shit's trying to go on.
Yeah, like the mushrooms are fighting each other. You feel right. But when I made chocolate with specific strains, they all had a purpose. So I started to decide to just label my chocolates with each strain. And now I make strain specific chocolate, which is, I think, this is the way that everybody should do it. And
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yes. And as of right now, like I wrote a list for you guys, I have like White Rhino, Stormtroopers, Hillbilly, Ape, Blue System Mindfuck, Blue Mini, Jack Frost, Enigma, which the Enigma is bad juju. Enigma is bad juju, right? So like I give it to the right people that like I think that deserve it, like to have it, you know. Then there is Stabby, Ghost, Iceberg, Gandalf, Malmec, and Solmac. Those, and of course, as I grow and as you guys share with me the beautiful genetics, I would just like keep like making these strain specific chocolates. And I make them actually. I make 5 grams, I make 8 grams, and I make 10 grams chocolates because when I make the larger 24 squares, for example, at 10 grams, that's a perfect 0.4 microdosing square, right?
Right.
And so I usually talk to people and say, like, what are you trying to accomplish? It is, you know, like, do you have like depression, anxiety? You want to have fun? And like, you have this or that. And I try to be my own shaman kind of thing.
Right.
And, so that's my goal, is my thing. I love it. It and people love it.
So that was 12, right? You got 12 different strains in chocolate?
Just right now. Like today.
Yeah. Tomorrow there might be 15. We don't know yet.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to send you a couple of really fun strains that are kind of our own little things that we've came up with in our group.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
You need tits, What the Bucket, and Lizard King.
Oh, and the Illusion Weaver Special Blue. That one is a beast.
Oh yeah. So this thing I never heard it. Blue with Dawn. I have it in grain right now, and then I have SV10 that I got from Fungulation. Like he sent me all these beautiful swabs, and so all the stuff that I'm growing ultimately is all gonna go to chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
And when people send me their genetics, the first thing I do with my food is send them my bar chocolate. So
there you go. I noticed that a lot of almost all of your strains are all giant friggin' fruits. You know that a lot of the smaller fruits are more potent. More potent.
yeah.
I mean,
You know what? I just harvested the Nepal.
Okay.
And it was smaller and it's so pretty. And I was like, I grew it because like,
up.
exactly. Yeah, no. So you guys' advice is to grow smaller fruits then? Because
No. I'm just saying some people like to grow because they want to show off the size and everything else of the fruits. But, a great flush to me is just as sexy as 200 fucking gram fruits in a tote. You know what I'm saying? Nothing looks better than opening up that tub and seeing a nice full flush. I don't care if they're only 3 inches tall with those nice purple heads. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. So one time, I don't know if it was a wrong spores or whatever, because I put spores to agar to grain to blah blah of
Right.
Penis Envy,
Okay.
and it came out like this carpet of beautiful golden with thin stems and stuff, and I was like, that looks more like I never seen a golden
teacher.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm like, okay, that was the prettiest stab I've ever seen. Seriously.
Nice.
And I don't know if it was Penis Envy. It didn't look like it.
No, well, I mean, Penis Envy is what do you want to say? It's pretty phallic. It definitely you see
yeah, you really can't mistake it for anything else.
You can't mistake it for anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, but actually, I think isn't Penis Envy is from B plus, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it's a B plus. No, that's PE plus. Okay.
Yeah. No, Penis Envy, I believe, was originally started off as just a golden teacher's a mutant.
Is an Amazonian rainforest created by both Terence McKenna and Stephen Pollock in the 70s.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I got pictures. Yeah. I got pictures of the first grow that they ever did of it, and it's pretty cool. It was in the old school 10-gallon aquarium.
Oh, that's the one where they had the little slant in there to keep all the moisture from hitting the shrooms.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. So, do you think that maybe mine reverted to normal golden teachers?
Happens.
Or you could have just been sold something that wasn't what it said it was.
And that happens much more.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, in fact, I do grow B plus, right? Because some people really like it. And it did kind of look like that. But my B plus looks also like my blue minis. And I'm like, okay.
It's pronounced B positive.
I don't believe him. I think it's full of shit.
It's pronounced B positive. That's what everybody calls us, B positive, because
you're the first person in 23 years that I've ever heard call it B positive.
It's called the original. It was called B positive because it makes you feel positive. That's why the guy came up with it, named it B positive.
That's good to know. Now B positive it is.
No, don't fall for his shit.
Oh yeah.
It's not my shit. That's literally what the original was, but everybody just calls it B positive or B plus. I was like, well, then where's B negative and B divided? Right?
I was just about to say that, but it sounded childish.
Yeah.
But not childish enough where I would have
positive. Yeah, because there was a C positive there for a while, but and then there was A plus, like A positive, and all these other ones. But I don't ever remember whatever happened to the C positive one. I don't just kind of faded out of.
So the Avery albino, is that Avery albino positive or is that AA plus? Which one are we calling that one?
I have
A positive. Now we gotta go positive. We're gonna change it for the world.
This is erroneous.
There was the original A positive, which was an Avery's, but yeah, they were doing them named that because I don't know, but the B positive was specifically named because it was B positive, but they just shortened it to B plus. because it fit on a foil. They could just write, when they were doing prints, just a B and a plus sign.
They can write psilocybin on a goddamn piece of foil. They can write B positive.
Are you talking about B positive?
They do. They write B positive with a B and a plus sign.
Like a Be Cool? That's what it was originally? Like be positive, be in a good mood kind of thing? That's what you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
No way.
That's literally what its name was, B positive, Positive. But they just shortened
for it, Ginevra.
To
don't do it.
I did.
B plus.
I did. You got me.
I'm not kidding you. It's literally, look it up.
I am right now. It says Farrell is full of shit. Right here. Look at it.
Noted. I have a little block notice here. Noted.
Yeah. So, okay, how about this? Your chocolates. I don't know. What? Give us. Some
where are you getting it? Where are you getting your
there we go.
bulk chocolate from?
So I buy the most expensive, like those. Now I don't have it in front of me, but like those chocolate that look kind of like an almond shape that I melt them and I do like tempering.
Right.
And I just like to do it
shiny.
They're so shiny, yeah. Like I just like to buy the most amazing, and then I like to put walnuts in it, And I there is this machine called the Thermomix. I don't know if you guys heard it. It cooks everything on this world. You can make cocktails with it. It's connected to the internet, so it gives you recipe. You can buy like anything, make risotto, make sauces.
I have seen that, and it's like fucking $3,000, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw that.
I bought myself the machine, and I make my chocolates with it. And yeah, I just like to be high end. I don't know, like Italian fabulous, right?
Your packaging just screams high end.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Definitely. Good.
I've tried making chocolates, and I've never got the tempering right. Like, just never got it right. I don't know if I don't have the patience for it.
No, the trick of the tempering is stop warming it up when you still see the chips. They are not completely melted. That's where you get it out, and you keep mixing it. So the rest of the chocolate that is not melted to temperature yet, that's what gonna keep your chocolate shiny. Just so you know. Yeah.
Shit, hold on, let me write that down.
Yeah, that's the trick, and that's how you want to do it. And then of course, like you have to go fast, right?
I'm totally taking that note down too, because I'm going to try this later.
Now I'm gonna ask you a chocolate bar question that to me it seems like common sense, and that you have to do it. Do you add anything other than that? I mean, I said walnuts. Do you add lion's-mane or anything else?
I do.
Help?
I do. Yeah, I do add lion's-mane really, really often. I do buy the powder from Stamen. Like he sells the jars of lion's-mane mycelium, and I just put a spoon of that in my chocolate because I think it really helps people. Yeah,
I would buy it. He's not actually selling the fruit. He's selling the mycelium.
Yeah,
grain.
The mycelium. Yeah, that's why.
That's like
that's not even close.
Buying toenails, like sweetie. The guy's a great marketer. He's a great marketer. Buy the actual fruit powder, and there's a bunch of places to do it. I will shoot you a link of what I use. I buy off Amazon.
I will sell you lion's-mane.
Please do it. Yeah,
don't buy mycelium powder because it's what he's doing is he's growing the fruit, selling the fruit, but then taking the leftover block and grinding it up with everything in it and selling that mycelium powder.
That's people. What I was wondering. How you get the mycelium off of the,
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's why his shit's like kind of gray, it's brown. So,
then you guys got a new customer. I'll buy the lion's-mane from you guys because,
he's a great marketer and he's great at that kind of stuff. I don't really want to poop on him or anything like that, but whoever told him, hey, we could maximize your profits by selling people grain that has been colonized.
Because he made me believe that now the power of the lion's-mane is only in the mycelium. That's what he made me believe. So now you guys are shocking me.
No, that's craziness right there. But
yeah.
no, because most people, when you make you're not getting how many people have you heard eating lion's mane, for food to go ahead and help with your mental and everything else? They're not chewing on fucking blocks of fucking hay and I'm so weirded out that he said that I can't even think of what I'm saying right now. That's just crazy that he's selling mycelium and the substrate.
That's awesome to know, because I was like kind of like buying all this shit, right? And it's expensive, and I want to help people, so I do put lion's mane in my chocolate. And that's a great pointer. Thank you.
You'd be so much better even just growing your own lion's mane. Only it is so easy to do. And then you just throw it in the dehydrator.
I have it in tubs, and I was going to ask some of you guys to help me because it's taking a long time and it's not coming out. So I think I did something wrong.
Farrell is my gourmet guru. That's how we met. Is someone told me, hey, Farrell does all that stuff. He'll answer your question.
Yeah. I grew gourmets. I've grown gourmets by literally the ton. And lion's mane, choke that shit out. Like it's gonna sound bad, but you put it. I grow it in bags, and then I wait until it's like just choking out before I make a hole for the lion's mane to come out of. If you put it in a tub, it's got too much fresh air, and
it is in a tub.
Almost,
yeah.
Oh, your fruit is just like a regular tub?
Yeah, it won't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's never gonna work.
You gotta choke it out.
Tell me what to do. Tell me.
Here's how you can make your tubs fruit. Is you're gonna go get yourself a piece of plastic wrap and push it down just plastic wrap, just regular plastic wrap. You don't even need to do bubbles. You're just gonna push it down on top of your substrate and choke that shit out. Cut off all the air to it for a little while, and once it'll start looking like a solid, perfect white under there, and then just make a couple of little holes. We're talking like pencil eraser size, tiny holes in that, and a huge fruit will pop up out of those tiny holes, like a huge.
We're talking
fruit.
like half a basketball popping out of that.
Yeah, like huge fruit. So yeah, you got to choke it out. Like you really have to control how much.
Pretend it's naughty and just choke the living life out of it.
Yeah, while it's colonizing the bag, lion's mane it's a kinky girl. She likes to get choked out.
Okay. Well, you see how much I'm learning today? Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Yeah. But if you're going to do it in tubs, choke it out. I recommend if people are going to do it in tubs to not even to just have already holes drilled in the side of the tubs with a piece of tape over it, and just fill your whole tub up, and then just line the top with like a garbage bag or something, and just choke it out. Put some sand on top of there, so the only way it could go is out the holes that you made.
I'm just going to do it in bags.
It'll actually push the tape off that tub.
Oh, it'll grow through filter patches. We're talking a 0.5 micron filter patch. Yeah. So I mean, it's ridiculous, but it only does that once it gets choked out. So how lion's mane grows in the wild is it grows up underneath the bark of inside of the tree, and then when the bark gets damaged, it comes out. Right.
Got it. So my question is, what's the ratio for substrate and grain and spawn?
Okay. Because if you're going to do a wood lovers like your lion's mane or anything like that, the substrate is the food. The grain is just to carry the mycelium through the substrate.
Master's mix.
So how you can use master's mix. It's more expensive. How I do it is I use cheap ass barbecue pellets. I just go to like Walmart or something and buy they're called. I have them sitting right here. Actually, they're called
hardwood.
They're called 5-star hickory and oak smoking pellets. I think I pay $7 for a 40-pound freaking bag, and 20-pound bag. Is how much this one is, and I put 60% or 70% those hardwood pellets and 30% alfalfa pellets, just like rabbit food, right?
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, so 70%. Those cheap, they're hickory and oak barbecue pellets.
Smells delicious.
Oh, it smells amazing. And 30% just rabbit food pellets, like the just alfalfa pellets. And I mix those up with hot water, I throw a little coffee in there and some erythritol and, a little, just random other stuff. And
Whatever's
then
on the floor by my feet.
Really, pretty much like maybe, a tablespoon of magnesium, because this really allows them to get the calcium that's inside
Gypsum.
of the alfalfa. I never really used gypsum because you got alfalfa, and alfalfa has a lot of calcium in it, like enough that they don't even have to. When you're giving like cattle like a lot of alfalfa, you don't even have to supplement them calcium.
Ah.
So, but the alfalfa also breaks down to tricantanol, which is a massive growth stimulating hormone that really works well for plants and mushrooms. And this is why I would get huge flushes. Is because of using the alfalfa, and the alfalfa has plenty of like nitrogen, it has plenty of your calcium, it has all your B vitamins, your A vitamins, everything that a growing mushroom needs. So you're going to bring that mixture to filled capacity and then bag it up and sterilize it. And then you're going to just put your grain. The only purpose of grain in gourmet is to just spread the mycelium through the hardwood substrate. So you don't have to do a huge amount, like maybe a pint jar of grain to like a 5-pound bag of the hardwood substrate, right? So it's just enough to spread the mycelium around. It's not actually eating the grain; it's eating the hardwood.
The wood, yeah.
And you should get, as long as you keep it hydrated, like in between flushes. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do bags. If you're going to do bags, you're going to cut a little half square shape, all right? So the flap would fold up. So if you just cut like 2 lines about 2 inches apart, and then 1 line connecting them so that you could have a little flap you could fold up, right?
Okay.
But will naturally lay down against the bag.
The bag, yeah.
That's all you're going to
Perfect climate.
So that's all you're going to do. Yeah, that's all you're going to do when you get ready to fruit your bag, and when your bag looks solid white, not wispy ass white, but solid white. You'll cut that one little flap in there. Don't need to open it up or anything. Just that fresh air hitting the inside of the substrate will cause it to fruit out that hole. Now, when you're done, you can take a little piece of masking tape or whatever. After you've harvested, tape that back up, and maybe a 10 cc, a syringe full of water or something. I'll take
Stab
like
that bitch.
I fill it back up with water. I weigh the mushroom, and I add almost that same weight of the mushroom of water back to the bag. Does that make sense? So if I get pound of mushroom,
how about I give you like 10 chocolate bars if you make a video and post it on Discord?
Easy enough.
It's really not that difficult. This is
I'll
really,
just do
really
it anyways.
simple. Yeah, we can do it anyway.
Yeah,
but this is super, super simple, and you're going to take it. Now you can just, when you're ready to recolonize, just tape that little area closed, that little flap closed.
Yeah.
And let it recolonize. Leave it alone for about a week or so, and then open it up again. You should be able to get 5 to 6 flushes until what'll end up happening is your block will actually shrink down to about 1/4 the size that it was. And at that point, you're not going to get anything else out of it. You might as well, bury it somewhere and let it do.
Take it to the vineyard. Take it to the vineyard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That's I can take to the vineyard. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not pathogenic. It's not going to hurt anything at all. It won't, they won't hunt down and kill anything. It's a really, really good chance that it won't even survive in the wild, because most of these strains that we are growing that are domesticated gourmet mushrooms are so babied that they're not going to do too well going back to the wild.
Which also brings me back to, I was right with the UV light. Once it gets the UV light, dies.
Yeah. Well,
so what do you guys think of the UV light? Because I bought it, but then I never used it.
I've been using it forever. Sterilize.
When I've used UV light before, is I make them I'll make my flow hood, and I'll put one in behind the filters in the flow hood.
Okay.
And so it's just inside the box, but I'll line the box with like aluminum foil, so it's like shiny as shit back there. But do I think it does anything? Maybe. it's kind of cool to be able to flip that thing on, and the face of your flow hood kind of slightly glows a little bit. That's cool as shit. That's worth it to me. I'll buy it. So.
I use an aquarium with an aquarium light, a UV light for the top of the aquarium, and I just put my stuff in the aquarium. So whenever I'm working and I have it sterilized and anything, it just lights up the whole room, and I get a tan at the same time.
Yeah,
dude, I worry about that UV light is so bad for your eyes, buddy.
No,
like,
so listen what happened to me. I had no idea. So my neighbor, he's a chemist. He's amazing. He even made this liquid for me that kills mold. So if I see contamination anywhere, I spray this thing that he made for me, and it kills the mold. It's unbelievable.
It's called
and so he has this
peracetic acid.
Yeah. So I went to his house because I wanted to use his flow hood because it's so big for one of my videos on Instagram. And I worked on this suit for hours, this and that. And then I go for dinner with my nanny, my daughter's nanny. And she's like, "You are so tan." And I'm like, "I am." And then I was thinking, and my face was burning the next day. And then I called P-Funk, and I'm like, "I don't understand why I'm so tan. Like, could it be the flow hood?" And he's like, "Girl, you have to be careful." I'm like, my eyes were burning.
I went blind for a week because I was loading stuff. I was loading ammo underneath a UV light that my father installed at his house. So I was there for like over an hour just loading shells.
Oh, I remember that.
Right? I was blind for almost a week. They actually had to put acid in my eyes.
You can go permanently blind from that shit, too.
Yeah, if I would have been there for 30 minutes, I'd have been done.
I had no idea. Like, I had no idea. And I was there working, getting all passionate, making my plates. And I'm like, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. UVC light is the one that sterilizes everything. And that is really, really, really bad on your eyes. It's the one that's kind of that bluish color. It's super bad for you. Super bad. It's also the one that will cause cancer. So it's definitely something that you don't want to expose yourself to. That's why they always have it installed in a box or something. Like the ones that do your whole house, they install them in your ductwork, like up in your roof, so it sterilizes the air that flows through the ducts in your house. But you don't ever get exposed to it.
Is that the same shit? Is that the same stuff they use for tanning beds?
No, they use UVA and UVB light for tanning beds. UVC light would not be good for tanning beds. UVC is that weird blue light
for tanning bed.
It's not like the purplish kind of light for the tanning beds. It's a weird, like almost aquamarine blue light. That's UVC, and UVC is not good. When we use it to sterilize stuff in the hospital, we have to we have to evacuate the area. You know, we have little blocks we put underneath the door.
Uh-oh.
No, I just muted it while I gave her the she's got her own set of kitchen knives.
There we go.
And she wanted her
that's good.
Well, they're plastic, right?
Okay.
But they look like
great parenting.
They look like chef knives, and they cut vegetables, but they won't cut skin. I bought them on Amazon. They're super amazing because I teach my daughter to cook. I love to cook. Like I cook like 5-star chef. And so she helps me in the kitchen all the time. She's currently cutting up a ton of Play-Doh. And she wanted her knives, so I had to grab them for her real quick. So she was daddying me to get her knives. And I was like, I'm just going to mute her real quick. She's just been sitting.
I just bought the full set. You know, have you guys heard of the Cutco knives?
Yeah,
so I just bought the full set of it. They're not pretty, but they work really good.
Yeah, no, they work really well. Yeah, they work really well. I use a lot of the same guys that make the Victronics knives. They're the same guys that make the Swiss Army knives, like Victronics or Victronics. I don't know how to say it, but I love their stuff. Oh my gosh, it's all industrial looking knives. They're not pretty, but my God, they hold a freaking an edge. But I blacksmith and I make some of my own chef's knives, and I make chef's knives that I sell, and it's a lot of fun, man. I've got more knives than I know what to do with. I've got these magnetic bars, like going all over the place in the kitchen that they're all stuck to. So
Well, I was born as a salesperson, so I'll be happy to sell your knives around the world.
I've got a beautiful wife who is a super salesperson herself. She works for an overseas security company and runs a lot of their sales stuff. And I am not a salesperson. My sales pitch is buy my shit or stop breathing my air. And so
you'd be amazed. It really works, though.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I can't sell. I can't sell anything. I'm a big, scary looking guy. I can't sell anything. I start talking to someone and their eyes glass over and they look like I'm about to beat them or something. So I let my wife handle all that. You guys would probably get along great, honestly.
Oh yeah, you know what I love about this community? I'm becoming friends with all the wives, and all awesome. These people. Yes, and now I am on all their DMs on Instagram or on Discord, and just I'm finding girlfriends. I love it, Yeah, and my boyfriend is actually incognito inside of my Discord, but he never goes on it. I'm like, I want you to make sure that you feel comfortable, with me talking to all these people, you know what I mean? So feel free to check anytime, because we all joke around and people might think people are flirtatious or whatever, but we're not. We're just a big family. You know what I mean?
That's what he said. Yeah. You got to be careful. Some people are just weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm weird as hell, but but no,
there's weird and there's fucked up. We're fucked up, not weird.
we have
best way to be.
The community within with the mushrooms is way different than any of the other communities that I've ever been part of. I'm part of a wine and beer making community, and everybody's kind of stuck up. I'm in I've been in weed grower groups and stuff like that to learn different stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh, I've got this super secret I'm not going to share with anybody," and and everybody, they're really cliquish, and then you get into the mushroom growing community, and everybody's chill, man. Everybody's really, really friendly. And it's great. I would have absolutely no problem walking into an auditorium full of, mushroom growing folks and just hanging out and talking and bullshitting, and I wouldn't feel at all weirded out or anything, and I wouldn't feel intimidated. But you
put me in an auditorium full of crackheads, and it's a different story.
Yeah, well, I tell you,
you'll be lucky to get out of there alive. Yeah.
I tell you, I hate the wine business. That's it. People are mean. They're cutthroat. It's not fun. People think that I have so much fun, and my boyfriend actually was talking to me about it the other night. It's why don't you create your own brand again and start something new? I'm like, no. The mushrooms world is so amazing, and everybody in it is so nice, and the wine is not the same. You're right. It's not the same.
I think you're in the right business.
If everything gets legal,
yeah,
then we can all do this shit in our own labs.
I think you're right there in the right place, honey, because it's just starting to get to the point where it's widely accepted, and it's not only just widely accepted for recreational use, but also therapeutic use.
Therapeutic.
And in the next, I think in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a widespread push to make it just as accepted or more so than marijuana is. And I think you're in the perfect zone there, doll, to be really kick ass at this and take your chocolates and go big with them. I think you're going to do really well.
She already got her shit branded like she's been doing it for years.
Oh no, you're already Discord famous, so there you go.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys. I'm just so excited to have found this world. I really am. I'm having so much fun.
You're the funnest person we've interviewed in a long time.
Like I say, this is the best interview we've had so far.
Normally these things go to shit 5 minutes in. This has been great.
In Italy, we like to have fun. That's what we do. In Italy, Italian people like to have fun. Kind of like Brazilians and Mexicans. We just love to love and have fun. That's what we are in this world for,
Yeah. My wife's Mexican. Yeah. She's a little spirited.
I find them to be a little stabby.
She's a little stabby. Yeah, she's a little stabby.
I'm sure I would love her. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the people that I like to hang out with, like let's talk real, let's be real.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where you go with this in the future. You're doing great things.
Thanks. Yeah, and I always ask people, that's the thing, be humble, ask people, don't be afraid of make mistake, repair those mistakes, and keep going. That's my thing.
Oh, do you want to give out your Instagram or anything like that?
Yes, so I have 2 Instagrams. They already been taken down twice, but one is grow shrooms with a low dash in between growing shrooms, and there is where I'm trying to teach everybody that doesn't know how to grow.
Awesome.
And the other one is called micro mushrooms, which is micro.mushrooms, and there is where I teach how to microdose.
Nice.
And that one is been taken down. I had 1,200 followers within less than a month. I was talking about trip reports and stuff like that, but then they took it down because I was talking about every single strain, what they do for you, and this and that. Now I have to be more careful and less specific, and I'm trying to find some loopholes so they don't take me down again.
Did you back up your videos?
Yes.
You should put them on your Discord.
Yes, you know what? I started sharing the videos that I do on Discord, and now I'm actually inviting people from the Instagrams to the Discord. But you never know who you're talking to, right?
I was gonna say you want to be careful with Discord. Like we started FAFO Cult to do this, to get out to help everybody, But we have a home, We've got one. I think I've got that down to about 30 people now. They're family,
Mm-hmm.
We've all incriminated each other enough times that we know where the bodies are buried. So we know everything about everybody.
Yeah, my Discord is micro mushrooms and now has probably 50 people, and some of these people I know, but I don't know well, and
right.
I don't know. Do I want to grow it? But I don't think so. I'm really happy in there. It's very quiet, Deadpool told me, it's so quiet in here.
First time I went in there, I was like, what the hell's going on? There's nobody talking.
We're always talking in ours, but we use it to like I said, over the years, we became like family. They've watched my little crazy daughter here grow up, and we're all if we had the opportunity, we'd all move to the same area together,
one giant lab,
yeah, just
one giant
one huge farm and just kick ass.
And this is the thing. I'm getting so attached to all you guys. I want to meet you in person, nobody ever talks about get together and just.
Oh, we do. We talk about it all the time. Yeah. We're having one shortly. With our family.
Yeah.
Can I be invited? I know I'm new, but can I be part of it? Now that I called you on it.
Well, the thing is me and my wife are buying a new farm, and so once we finish buying our new farm, we're going to hold a get together for our Myco family, and have everybody come out and probably just use them as slave labor. But
let's do it.
Do it now.
Just do it.
It's going to be fun. It'll be really fun. We had a really large farm beforehand, but then my wife had a super rough pregnancy, and we ended up having to move back to the city because our daughter was born as a little tiny preemie. She fit in my hand.
How much did she weigh?
Oh, how much do you weigh? You weighed about a pound, didn't you? About a pound.
No way.
Yeah, she was born way early. They actually had to put basically my wife her legs up in the air to keep her in and give her a whole bunch of drugs to try to get her lungs to mature, because they told us that hey, she's got an 80% chance of not making it. And,
it's a miracle baby. Do you call her Chance or something? Did you give her one of the special names that you give when they're born?
She's just the way I call her, the tiniest beast, but that's why everybody calls her tiniest, because
she was the tiniest mycologist.
Yeah, she was little bitty. And we spent we moved into the city because we need to be next to the NICU because we spent 6 weeks just living in the NICU basically. And then she had a bunch of doctor's appointments and stuff like that afterwards. But she's perfectly normal now, as you can hear. She talks like crazy.
Yeah,
and
so
she's
cute.
But no, she's perfectly normal now. She's just a normal little like almost 4-year-old. But I make her help me with everything. Yeah.
His measurements are either by beers or by tiny hands. So if
yes.
you ever, he'll be like, I need 3 cups of honey and then 2 tiny hands of.
Well, her little hands are like basically a tablespoon. Yeah. So it's a real easy measurement. But I make her help me cook. She helps me everything, man. She likes operating the. I use to make my substrate, and this is something you might want, is I bought a cheap concrete mixer.
Don't say where. We're not sponsored yet.
Oh, yeah. So by a large company that rhymes with Arbor. Yeah.
Arbor 8.
Yeah. Arbor 8. And I wish they'd sponsor us. We buy so much shit there. And well, if you get an opportunity, you want to buy the floor model. Do not buy the one that comes in the big box because it has like 200 pieces. It's a biatch to put together. But I use it to make all my substrate, to make all my grain spawn, to mix anything I'm going to mix up. I mix it in there. And Tiniest loves pushing the on and off button and throwing random things in there. Like I'll be like making substrate. Next thing you know,
why is there a frog in the fucking thing?
Yeah, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog toy in there. I'm just going to town at the substrate. He's going for a ride. But she loves it. She helps me do with everything, man. She helps me with everything. She's awesome. My sidekick.
Children are beautiful. I love my daughter. She is crazy, but I love her so much. She's a mini me. Yeah. Like seriously.
I'm thankful that my daughter is a lot like my wife. If she was like me, it would be.
And you gave her knives?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
okay.
She's just naturally attracted to the knives because she's a lot like my stabby wife. What are you doing there, Tiny? You want to say hello? Say hello.
Hello.
There you
go.
Hello.
Tiniest needs her own microphone.
Oh, man. Like, when I'm editing everything, she has her own headphones, and she sits here next to me and listens to the whole thing. She knows all your voices. Like, she's like, that's Deadpool. That's Trim. She knows everybody.
Cute.
Deadpool's playing games again.
So where Deadpool comes from? Why did you choose that name? I just really want to know, and I'm going to ask on the podcast because I really want to know.
When I was a kid, I was massive, huge collector of comic books. Like, I paid for my college by selling my comic books. And New Mutants number 98, Deadpool was its first edition, and he's been my favorite comic book character ever since. I have a GameCube in my office where my name is Deadpool from 1998. So it's just been my nickname ever since. And now they have movies. Now there's movies out with them, and I was like, "Oh, you're a bandwagon jumper." I'm like, "I got news for you, buddy. I've been a hard fan since that came out forever." So.
I gotta tell you, when you pop up on my DM because of your logo, like it's intimidating. I was like, this guy is intimidating. I was like, it took me a second to get comfortable talking to you. I was like, what's up?
Yes, I exude distrust.
Yes. I was like, why is he talking to me? Who is this person?
He's a big teddy bear until he fights off bears with a hockey stick.
That bear deserved a smack in the face. It was messing with my dog. Yeah.
She's laughing too.
She's like, she wants a hockey stick and a bear.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
But
it was.
Wait, first off.
Oh, you have to do the giveaway. The giveaway.
Yes, we got a giveaway.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
so now I had one set up already. Ginevra went ahead and she's added some in with it now. So
what's it all up to now? Let's rehash.
Now, okay, it's gonna be you're getting you first. What chocolate are you giving? I'm doing 3. Yeah, you're doing.
Yeah,
so ape, I think.
Yes, I'm gonna do 8-gram ape chocolate bars. I'm gonna give away 3 of them, and I strongly recommend not taking the entire thing. Of course, be safe out there because they're very strong.
8 grams of ape is a party. That's a party.
Yeah, so be careful. Just do a couple squares. They'll fuck you up anyways. So don't worry.
So now I guess since I got 3 bars,
yes,
I was only going to do 2 giveaways, but now I'm going to do 3. So now there will be 3 winners.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say, I do put nuts in all my chocolate. So if who wins is allergic to chocolate or is vegan or this or that or that or that, I make my chocolate by order, so like I can tweak them any way you guys prefer.
Yeah, or life's a shit sandwich, take a bite anyways. So. Yes. That's what I say about that one.
Okay.
All right, Ginevra, give me a password. Because I'm going to DM 3 people, and they have to do the password because they have to listen to your podcast to know who you are to get your chocolate.
Let's do Coco. C-O-C-O.
Okay, Coco it is. All right, Coco.
It's a very appropriate one.
Very good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, so do you have anything else you want to tell anybody?
I just love you people. That's what I want to say. Thank you for including me, and thank you for making me part of this amazing world that is just like fills up my heart every day. I am such a happy person because of you people.
Awesome. Hey,
yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Like I said, but when I saw you jump in there to the server, I was like, I've heard people talk about her before, so I gave her a quick stalking, and I asked her to come on, and So.
Thank you so much.
You've been great. You've been the best one we've had on a Monday. We like to try to end every one of our podcasts with something real positive. So we try to go around and see if everybody has anything positive to say, like for the listeners. So what do you got, Deadpool?
If you don't like chocolate and you don't like nuts, try it anyways. You never know. You might be allergic.
What's a little death? Well, what are EpiPens anyway?
Or give it to your grandma.
There you go. If you don't have an EpiPen on you, you shouldn't have fucking.
Have you guys seen they're working with the psilocybin and Alzheimer's patients? You guys seen that stuff?
I have seen that one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen that in Australia now they did some research with the lionsmane and dementia and all that. Yeah, that's what I saw.
And they all work together. Like I said, with the lion's mane and chocolate, they all work together to just make a cohesive friggin' attack on the mind. Tried to basically a reset almost. Make a new
lion's mane is a massive potentiator of psilocybin. It definitely makes it a lot stronger.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I was asking if you put the lion's mane with the chocolate bars because that'll make it that much stronger. We're talking
quite a bit
double,
stronger,
but like 1.5 times as strong as
maybe
what
that's
it would
the
normally
secret
be.
of my chocolate because everybody talks about my chocolate and how different they are from any other chocolates.
See?
Maybe that's
the lion's mane opens up the neurons, and then you throw the psilocybin in there, and it connects everything, and it just makes it way more of an intense experience.
There you have it. Here we go.
So now you might want to add a little bit more lion's mane. Yeah.
I totally will.
But
I will.
All right. So other than that, I mean, what you got anything you want to say? Something nice today.
Are you talking to Ginevra?
Yes
ma'am. Not Farrell, obviously.
No, I just want to ask the people that there are in the community if they could please start sharing their trip reports more often because those are very important for others, to be able for us to know which strain does what for which people. That's the only favor I would ask if anyone could just start sharing that. It would be very important for my research.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. It definitely helped in all aspects of microdosing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we want to know what these mushrooms are doing. And of course, I'm trying to learn all these new strains, and a lot of people name them. I don't even know what they are. And there you have it. Yeah.
Farrell came up with a new one yesterday. It's called Chicken Fucker. It's brilliant.
Oh.
What? No.
That's a good one. Like, I used to live in Rome. I grew up outside of Rome, and I used to be my summers I lived in Capri, and in my winter I lived in Rome, and I had this huge farm where I had, you name it, we had like monkeys, lions, snakes, dogs,
damn.
like all of it.
That's not a farm. You lived on a zoo.
That's a zoo.
I know, it was literally a zoo. My dad is a doctor. My mom is a hippie, and now my mom moved to Chile in Patagonia, in an island off of an island, living with her husband, and they live off the land. It's so beautiful. And when I grew up, I used to have this helper from Ecuador, and I was like in my early 20s. I moved to America when I was 25. And he was telling me how in Ecuador, actually, they had a chicken farm, and him and his friend used to fuck the chickens.
Alrighty then.
Well, that's like a dark turn.
Right.
It was
I'm glad this happened at the end.
It was we were all wholesome. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. So it was all wholesome and everything. Like, oh man, I grew up on a farm. It was great. And then you fuck the chicken. It was like, okay then.
It just made me think of it because it's such a weird story that like I had to share it, guys.
No, believe me, I appreciate that story. That's matter of fact that you might have just named the episode.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna go to details because I could, but oh boy.
Let's not do that. Right now, this episode up until now was moderately family friendly.
Yeah, I know. and it was oddly professional. It was kind of it didn't feel right. It didn't feel good at all. It was weird.
No, we didn't have to like bust out the goat noise.
I don't even have it out now. It's like, what the heck?
Literally, my cheekbones are hurting from laughing, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm dying.
All right.
So that was my positive note. I gave it to you.
Right.
You see?
Yeah. Ecuadorians like chickens. That's a great positive.
Yeah.
Great positive note. Just piss off
or the men are men and the chickens are scared.
No, that's a chicken voice.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, my positive note this week is going to be hug somebody you love, tell them that you love them. You never know when you're going to have any sort of falling out with them, and if you have a falling out with somebody, reach out to them and make sure that they're okay. We love our listeners. Thank you for listening. This is just one of our fun little Monday interviews, introducing new people in the community to everybody else in the community to them. As always, you can find us at FAFO Cult on Discord. We can also have our Venmo as at FAFO Cult. If you send us any money, we will definitely use it for nothing good. It'll go to pure debauchery.
Maybe now a couple of chickens.
Maybe now a couple of chickens, yes. With the price of eggs, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I literally, like my old house, I'm sorry, but my old house was little off from downtown where I'm now, and I had 17 chickens in the city. And one time the chicken control board or whatever called me because this is America. In Italy, they would just show up and murk you, right? In America, they call you, it's like, this is the chicken control board or whatever, and we are going to come to check on your house because we heard you have chickens. You know what I did? I packed the 10 chickens in my car and parked the car 3 blocks away. And then when they arrived, I had the 8 chickens. There is the limit you can have in the city. I'm like, thank you for the heads up.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So there you have it.
Chicken smuggling. Good times.
I was. Yeah, because the homemade eggs is the best of the best. Come on.
I literally have 22 chickens.
You have
22 chickens? And not one of those chickens has been fucked. All right?
Yes. They are. They are pure as the wind-driven snow.
That they are now walking on, trying to find something.
A little limp there.
Little limp. Okay, this is all right, guys. We love you guys.
Love
we're
you
gonna
too.
see you all in the Discord.
All right.
Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, later.